Friends, today I am going to give a talk on the idea or the basic spirit of Indian Constitution and its perception and compliance. The basic spirit of the Constitution refers to the core principles and values confined and contained, enshrined in the Constitution that guide the governance and legal framework of a nation. In the Indian context, the basic spirit of the Constitution is embedded in its preamble, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, and fundamental duties. The core principles of the Constitution spirits are as follows: 1. Sovereignty. The people are the ultimate source of power. Socialism. Commitment to reduce inequalities and promote equitable distribution of resources. Secularism. Equal treatment of all religions without endorsing or promoting any one religion. Democracy. A government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Justice. Ensuring social, economic, and political justice for all. Equality. Prohibiting discrimination and guaranteeing equal opportunities. Liberty. Protecting individual freedoms such as speech, expression, and belief. Fraternity. Promoting unity and dignity among all citizens. Now let us see how the compliance of the spirit is there. Compliance with the basic spirit of the Constitution is achieved through as follows. The first approach is legislative actions, laws that align with constitutional principles such as the Right to Education Act and laws promoting gender equality. The other methodology is, we call it judicial oversight. The judiciary ensures laws and government actions comply with the Constitution through mechanisms like judicial review. Let us see how these things have been highlighted in certain cases. In Keshwanand Bharti case 1973, it established the basic structure doctrine, ensuring the Constitution's core values remained intact even during amendments. Governments or governance practices. Governments and public institutions must function transparently, protect fundamental rights, and implement welfare measures. Citizen participation also, one of the way. Active involvement of citizens in governance through voting, exercising rights, and adhering to duties are the basic spirit of the Constitution that has been complied with. Now, there are certain challenges also toward the compliance of the basic spirit of the Constitution, or we may call as idea of the spirit of the Constitution. In nutshell, the first point that is to be taken note of: corruption and inefficiency in public institutions. Number two, another challenge is the misuse of power leading to violation of rights. Third, social and economic inequalities, the creating barriers to justice and equality, communal and religious tensions threatening secularism. Now, these are the basic, in a nutshell, the challenges towards the compliance of the spirit of the Constitution. So, we may say and state as follows that ensuring compliance with the basic spirit of the Constitution requires a collaborative effort by the government, judiciary, and citizens. Upholding constitutional values fosters a harmonious, just, and equitable society. Now, the naturally from here onwards, the step that has to be taken into consideration to understand the idea and the spirit of the Constitution and its compliance, we have to see the certain case laws in the context of the spirit of the Constitution. The spirit of the Constitution, often referred to as its basic structure or foundational ethos, has been preserved and interpreted in several landmark cases by the judiciary. These cases underscore the principles of justice, equality, liberty, and democracy that form the core of the Constitution. Let's discuss some of the notable examples of case laws. The key case law reflecting the spirit of the Constitution are as follows. Let us start with the first landmark judgment known as Keshwanand Bharati versus State of Kerala 1973. The principle that has been established in this case is it introduced the basic structure doctrine, ensuring that the fundamental values of the Constitution cannot be altered even through amendments. The, the significance of this case is that it established that the spirit of the Constitution, that is, democracy, secularism, rule of law, and separation of powers, etc., must remain intact. Another important case, Minerva Mills versus Union of India in the year 1980. The principle that was established was that it reaffirmed the basic structure doctrine and emphasized the balance between fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. And its significance is this, that it highlighted that any action undermining the harmony between justice, liberty, and equality is against the spirit of the Constitution. The third case is also a very well known case, Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Radharai 1975. The principle established was that it struck down the 39th Amendment that sought to curtail judicial review of election disputes. And its significance lies to this fact that it reinforced the independence of the judiciary as essential to the democratic spirit. Another case, very important one, S.R. Bomai versus Union of India in the year 1994. The principle established was that it clarified the scope of secularism and federalism as part of the Constitution's basic structure. And its significance lies to this fact that it asserted that any action inconsistent or inconsistent with secularism or undermining federal principles violates the Constitution's ethos and spirit. Another case is I.R. Soyalia versus State of Tamil Nadu 2007. The principle established was it stated that the laws placed in the ninth schedule intended to be beyond judicial review are subject to the basic structure test. And significance lies that it upheld the supremacy of constitutional spirit over legislative immunity. Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India case in the year 1978. The principle established that it expanded the interpretation of Article 21, right to life and personal liberty, to include a wide range of rights, emphasizing due process and fairness. Very important principle that has been established in this case. And its significance is that it strengthened individual freedoms and the principle of justice center or central to the constitution. Another case, recent one, is Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India 2018. The principle established was that it decriminalized homosexuality by reading down section 377 of the IPC, and, and its significance upheld the principle of equality, dignity, and liberty as core constitutional values. Another case, important case, is Vishaka versus State of Rajasthan, 1997. The principle laid down guidelines to prevent sexual harassment at the workplace, interpreting fundamental rights in light of international conventions. And its significance lies to this fact that it protected gender justice and equality. Another important case, K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India 2017. Its principle recognized the right to privacy as a fundamental rights under Article 21. And its significance lies to this fact that it demonstrated the adaptability of the Constitution in protecting individual dignity and liberty. There are so many other landmark judgments relating to the areas of environment and protection of say minorities, etc. Now these are the selected ones which has been referred to as to understand the how the basic structure of the Constitution and its spirit has been highlighted in these cases. So one may say, in a nutshell, that these cases collectively demonstrate how the judiciary safeguard the spirit of the Constitution, ensuring that it remains a living document reflecting justice, equality, liberty, and democracy. Judicial interventions are critical in preventing deviations from constitutional principles and ensuring their dynamic interpretation in evolving socio political context. Thank you very, very much.